Welcome back everyone to another video. It is the Tuesday Arvo positional matchups, analysis, as well as waiver wires littered in throughout there as we kind of move through the matchups in a TLT style, as you would know by now. If you're new here, enjoy the video, but definitely check out past videos to kind of get a feel for the rhythm. Watch along. We try and smash out as much content in as short a period of time as we can in this one, just to kind of provide maximal bang for buck for everyone. So if they can get this into their ears before they make waivers and free agencies, they kind of know who have strong matchups to target off free agents, or the waivers obviously speak for themselves. From a classic perspective, I relink this out at the end of the week when I do the matchups sheets, so they share those screenshots out on socials, and then you can kind of like look at those later in the week and remind yourself as well. So I like to do all in one, so it's all there for you guys. That's the plan. We're going to jump right in. It's kind of like a tough week where for draft and a little bit of classic, but it's finals season for a lot of drafters right now. So what that means is a lot of people kind of are going to be seeing potentially quite dry waiver wires, because there's now over half, or maybe just under half of their league that's not actually competing anymore, so they're not going to be dropping players and whatnot. So whilst there's less competition for targets, we're also seeing on the team list there's just not a lot of there's not a lot of juicy options out there. So it's kind of a mixed week, right? There's some interesting stuff, but it's also not like a complete bonkers week or anything, so I'll do my best to kind of pick up some stuff. But this is probably really the sweet spot now where individual league stuff is going to be really tailored. There's going to be guys I mentioned that just are not available in some leagues like mine, and then there's going to be leagues where there's way better players available, and you need to comment, you need to let me know somewhere, wherever that is, that what you're facing as you come into finals. If you're lucky enough to be like me and you're on the week off, this is where the strategy comes into play. So in my home league, I'm on the week off for finals. There's two options, right? If you have an absolute glaring hole in your team that some waiver can resolve, certainly burn your ticket on your week off to secure that person. If their job security is unknown, it is, to me, not good enough. It's a bit situational, but I prefer not to waiver for a guy who's got a job security risk, a serious one, or a real 50-50 one, if I'm on bye. Because if I burn the ticket, they play this week when I don't need them to, and I see TLT next week coming into my finals matchup and they're not there, I don't have that leverage angle there on that waiver ladder where someone during that weekend could drop someone to win a matchup or whatever, or an injury happens, and I want to make sure for when I'm actually using my ticket or playing my matchup, I've got the maximal opportunity. Last year, the chips fell in such a way I didn't burn a ticket pretty much for the back half of the year, holding it for that opportunity. It didn't quite arise, and there's luck involved in that, right? Like I got a couple of players off free agents. I just took the risk that they'd be there, and they were, without burning my ticket. But I was ready if someone got dropped that was going to fix a problem. I had that high priority. So it is there's a balance to be struck between burning a ticket if you don't need to play, like if you're not playing this weekend. If you are, hell for leather, guys. This is play hard, go well. We've seen a lot of guys play really hard and get results. In the Discord, guys are commenting that they were coming 7th or something before Origin, and now they're 2nd because they were asking questions, they were watching the videos, the content, using the Oracle, using the social media posts, whatever was at their disposal, chasing trades, buy lows. They were selling big names to get value. Look, if you owned Reece Walsh and you sold him to get more immediate playing time out of like a Kini or something, you won that. If you sold Payne Haas when he wasn't playing or was away with Origin, and you got someone who played games during that time, you won that, because those guys haven't been good enough. And I bought both of them and paid the price, chasing that upside. So yeah, real sweet spot this week for finals players. I guess if you're watching this playing Classic, you're kind of similar. You're getting towards head-to-head. You want to know what cash-out options and who the sit starts are and blah, blah, blah. I'll have a few opinions on some of these guys coming back, like Sasagi and Duncan, where they sit for us in terms of like trade-ins with these final trades off injury risk. That's something I'm not sure about. And they're big sit-start dilemmas. Guys are going to be battling for finals, having to start guys that are coming off soft tissue injuries, taking the risk that they could re-injure themselves in the middle of the game. So you need to be pretty dialed in this week, I think, with some of that stuff. So what we'll do is we'll just start with this one. This is just the accountability post on Instagram. It was a really great week last week for the model. We saw so many gun matchups hit. Dufty, average and rank are a bit different, but don't worry, like either or is good as a user. Rank is like the true model accuracy hit. Average is like my personal one. So really nice hits for guys. Sasagi didn't play, so he doesn't count. Isaako has missed so many opportunities the second half of the season. A little bit of Katoa being out, but he was back. Bostock, I don't think he's a ball hog or anything, but at the left edge, just getting all that love, all that Cobbo. You know, guys like Brailey just dominated the matchup. Hamish Stewart was elite. Manuleleua had the matchup, and to basically deliver or be near on delivering is really awesome. But I had him listed as running out on the right edge, and he was on the left and was quite good. So that's a little bit of a miss there. Ryan Couchman's just a beast. So really cool gun matchups. Elites, as you guys know, all three of these are elites. Nearly the same as gun. Don't delineate too strong, and just look at the deliverance like Teddy, AKP, Savala, Bostock, Mark, Tamare Martin, Terrell May, Reece Robson even, who just came out of the work, had some upside. Aaron Clark hit that upside in that opportunity. Dewey, Stefano was pretty good. Jethro, who I mentioned a lot, Burton, even Moses Leo above average, not in the rank. Walshy missed. Penasini scored but was crap. Katoa was quiet. Campbell, yeah, I don't know how he snuck in there with an elite matchup, but just he's just a bit of a beast. And Toby had a HIA. Pascoe was quieter. McEwen on the right was, dropped out of there. I think Ricky was hurt and they just got owned, and Paddy Carrigan. So not so good for the final group there, but everyone else quite good, which was really nice. For waivers stuff, Manuleleua, Paddy, Keeley, CNK, huge win for Campbell Graham matchup plays. If you guys saw this and thought stuff it, I'll play him. I think he hit 100, which is huge. Nat Butcher actually came off the bench, or played in the middle and stuff. So his minutes were impacted. He still delivered 50 plus score. So I count that as a win from a waiver pickup. But we can get off the train now. He delivered his value and now it's been swapped around. Croker was a miss in the deep league options. So yeah, just thought I'd quickly touch on the accountability. But let's do matchups, guys. Gun this week: Kini, Cobbo, Koula, Sasagi, Isaako, Hynes make up the backline top matchups. The elites there: Teddy, Fa'alongo, Ponga, Smith, Johnston, Mulatalo. Left centre New Zealand is Leka Halasima, which is an interesting one. I've got him as an arguable waiver depending on your needs and how much you trust he keeps the role long term. I'm not sure, but I have him as a team dependent luxury kind of waiver. Herbie, Duncan's back. Rob Toya, Nick Meaney slides in there. That's one I don't love to trust. I can't trust Nick Meaney. Bostock, Burns, To'o, Katoa. So a lot of backline guys that we've seen sniffing around. It's pretty entrenched, like Cobbo will populate. Sasagi, Isaako just keeps dominating the right wing. Nico is no surprise. Blayke Brailey's back in the top echelon there as a gun. With Harry Grant injured, he doesn't have a lot of competition, quite frankly. Like between him and Ollie Pascoe, they're always going to be like in that top 3 spot, and Paddy will come and go. So yeah, you can have a look at this on the video component if you're listening on the potty, or if you're on YouTube, you can kind of go through this on socials. But it's pretty standard this week. Francis Manuleleua is back again, and I think, if he's not owned in your league, you got to really consider him as an upside 2RF. He can really hit a line. Great young player. Both Fermor and Pascoe, hard to trust. Who have the Titans got? They got the Cowboys. I'm just not sure what gets thrown out there on the pitch. Like, that's a lot of Titans populating in matchups. Kini, Campbell, Pascoe, Fermor, all their upside guys have a chance, but the Cowboys surely put out a bit better of a product. But hey, who could seriously know? Then on the inverse, you've got Burns and let Lukey have the opportunity against that Titans defense, which is a bit lacking. So that could be a real shootout to start our week off. What else stands out to me here? Obviously, like Preston, people will be looking at him and Finafuiaki. I like Finafuiaki. Like I posted something early yesterday about edges to target, and Finafuiaki's edge plays some pretty bad teams coming up. He could be in for some meat. I'm not sure on the prices of them in Classic, but I'd just go the cheaper one of the two. I think with Critter dominating on ball to the left edge, that's really humming. The Burton kick out, Rinakama edge, I like Funafuiaki, but you also can't deny Preston. He's got more pedigree. He's been doing it for longer at this level. Funafuiaki, it's really his breakout year. I'd go Funafuiaki for a bit of fun as a Dolphins fan, but I think Preston's probably the better pedigree choice. If they were priced similar, still Preston. If Funafuiaki was materially cheaper, yeah, I'd happily go him, just mix it up a bit. Or even just split it on who's owned least is totally fine. I'll just zoom this in. Sorry, guys, I'm a bit delayed on the zoom in for you. Yeah, some pretty standard names. Farmworth, Duncan sitting him is definitely an option with his hammy, but in classic formats with that many players running out there with less at stake, you could definitely start him if he's got the matchup. Who do they play? It's Para. 100% you're playing him. Holy, you're 100% playing him. Here's the weaknesses. Weeks. Kini is number one because he has the maximal weakness from the Cowboys. I think he could carve up despite whatever the scoreline is. Love to start him. Iongi just scraped through. He is suffering for how bad his team is, but when they get red zone ball, he nearly always features in some way. So he's definitely a start in certain formats, and in draft, obviously, I think you can have confidence in Iongi if the team can kind of hold the ball, which was just a disgrace at the weekend. I'll get straight into the game so this video doesn't take too long. Sometimes I can get a bit caught up in the individual names, but we just mentioned Kini. There's no waivers from this one that stood out to me, really. Like, the left 2RF is Kai O'Donnell, who I just don't recommend at all. Don't even know if he plays 80. We could see one of those swaps where, who is it? Tom McKaylee comes into the edge for a bit and plays a bit of his time there after Kai O'Donnell plays 60 minutes. I don't know what they'll do. I don't care about Kai O'Donnell. On the Titans side, Aramaho had a try, but the base just isn't there. You can play him in this one for sure. I think he'll be running at the Kai O'Donnell side, the Clifford side. Clifford's usually pretty decent in defence, I think. But I don't think Laybut is the best in defence there. I was at left centre. So don't mind how, but yeah, the work rate's not amazing. I'm glad I sat him at the weekend, and that helped me. I actually dropped him to make sure I got another score off the bench. And I was okay with the drop there. I know a lot of people have coveted how after the hot start, but I'm not too phased. And now with Ilias back, I'm extra not phased with how I'd be sitting him if I kind of had the luxury to do so. I know some people won't. Oh, I did have a waiver here. Like, just free agency, deep league. Mofo is still doing a bit in your front row, second front row spot for owners in deeper leagues, so I don't mind Mofo there. Backline options here, there's nothing for me. These guys would all be... I think you could start Jojo Fifita in this, but again, with Ilias, I don't know what edge does Ilias play on. I don't know. Oh, does Jaden Campbell go back on the right with Ilias back? Will they mix that up? If Jaden Campbell goes on the right, I don't mind how in that case. But I just don't know what they're going to do, and that's the risk with this stuff. If you can watch the pre-game and see the warm-ups and stuff, that might change that. I don't know what the deal is there. Next game, Warriors, Penrith. CNK still can do a job. Edgar, not the matchup for him at all, but he did cross for a try last week, but playing away. But yeah, like, if you're desperate, if you're an Edwards owner, you can play him. I probably prefer you to AE the spot for a better bench score if you can. But if you're really stuck, I think you can play him. He looks like a solid kid out there from what we've seen in the games so far. So yeah, definitely not something I want to overly rely on. That's pretty brutal rank. Part of that's his scoring, but yeah, I think yeah, if you're desperate, you can, but try and find another way around it. The Leka thing, it's more of a free agency stash to me, but he has the matchup, so if you've got him, play him. He's running at... he's actually running at the Cleary side. I think it's Ali Leatoa who has, you'd think, the opportunity running at Cogger and Tungo. But Tungo could play on the right element. There's too much unknowns with these lefts and rights here, man. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to rely too much on anything here. The Cleary tough matchup is legit. Obviously, the Wars are holding pretty firm to halves there. They did the thing there, but that doesn't stop me from VCing Cleary or even seeing him. I don't like it over there, but yeah, he's too good. I'm not too stressed on a tough matchup for him. But if ever there was an indicator, it would be a guy like him with his pedigree. That conceding that tough is pretty gnarly to populate. Like, even Tamare has a better matchup because only by one rank, but yeah, Penrith aren't infallible. Fisher Harris and stuff, yeah, whatever. IPAP, yeah, that's legit. He's got the number 1 matchup at left half. That's nuts. Obviously, he hit a bit of upside last week, which is always good. So next game, waivers in this. Like, you can stash Cogger if you want in case he keeps the role, but the bench, it's Cole and Talangi. Is Talangi going to earn that spot back after getting hurt? He brained it in Cup, which, if that means anything to you, then a reason to hold him maybe, or stash him if you're on the bye. But for what it's worth, he plays Roosters next week, so it's like, it's not much upside for him, who struggles to hit upside at the best of times. So not overvaluing either of those guys, to be clear, but the duel is handy, the Cogger duel for sure. Just checking my pickups. We mentioned Cogger. Metcalf, I was thinking, is nearly stashable, but Tamare's named, so he must be okay. I know he had ice on his calf or something, so he's obviously all good. So I don't think you need to stash Metcalf. It's finals now. Yeah, like, you're better off just focusing on more tangible things at hand. Liam Martin has hit upside a lot. I think this matchup, it's favourable for him. That's always nice, him and IPAP. I can't trust him because I've seen too many years where he's not been relevant, but I think in deep leagues, he's definitely startable whenever he plays outside Cleary, like in this form. 8th ranked right to RF matchup. It's even better for Laban, but yeah, I think in leagues it's situational, but yeah, I give a thumbs to Liam Martin as like a grouped platoon 2RF option. I'm not burning a high ticket on him. At any point, he could drop a 40 and play 60 minutes. I don't think the minutes have even been 80, so there's obviously that too. So yeah, it's just, he's hit upside, and that's kind of what's popped him up there, but I'm not going to fully deny it either. Yeah, so we touched on Leka. We touched on, like, Alilea Tower. There's better weeks to do it. This would be the week with Cogger there, but Cogger's a bit more staunch than Talangi. Yeah, man, I don't know. Isaac Tungo's come in as well, but it's not the matchup for it. These two teams would probably be a bit too gritty in maybe the cold and the wet of a early Friday evening game over in New Zealand. I think you can do better than these fringe guys. Sydney Roosters, Bulldogs, a few names here. I'll let you guys look at the matchups yourselves. It's pretty nice though for our Roosters backline, although the Dogs have been on the charge. My boy Jethro Rinakama, who delivered for me last week, this matchup is not as conducive, but we never know what the Roosters will put out on the field. One week they're the best team in the comp, and the next week they make an error every second set. So yeah, Jethro, I'd be looking to sit if I had him. I don't think it's the one for him. He has other opportunities potentially down the line, not this week. I mean, if you're desperate, fine, but yeah, probably not ideal. Whereas like a Savala and stuff, I'm still playing them in this until I see, the Dogs hold back like a top team like this. But yeah, just trust the form the Roosters are in. If it's gelling, it's gelling. Preston kick out their plays. Salesi Foketi is an interesting one. He's been given the job, as I mentioned, over Nat Butcher. Love Foketi. I have a tweet from way earlier in the year on him, but I actually made one that I can't find like last year going off about Foketi, but obviously the Twitter X platform changed what they store or how. But yeah, I have receipts of how much I froth Foketi. Now it's a common thing. It's not like when, I liked Terrell May there and then drafted him in a year where he was still at the Roosters and then drafted him again in the Tigers year and had success off that. Now Foketi's become the Terrell May thing where I think most people in your league probably don't know, but if you watch these videos, this is me saying now you can waiver for him. There's a lot of job security unknowns there with even Nat, even with Gus, even is 80 minutes a thing. I don't know. He played 80 last week probably because they were winning so easily, which I think is great for him. I'm just wondering if it's a tighter game and there's a few errors or anything happens for him, does Nat then just push out to the left edge back row to secure it up? I don't think so. I think they're blooding him for his future there with now that he's going to be stepping into a role like that or pretty much that role next year with Gus Crichton gone. So I think I would not burn the highest ticket depending on my needs, but in the standard comp with how many 2RFs you've got to have and a 2RF like him with genuine upside playing outside Sam Walker and whatever. Dude, like, yeah, I like it a lot more. In a standard league, in my comp, I couldn't justify it, but if I wake up tomorrow and he's not wavered, yeah, I'm going to stash him, dude. Like, I'll need to see what happens if he's breaking lines and stuff and playing in this team, and one of the hardest teams in my comp to beat this year will be the Sam Walker team. Then if I can get a little bit of a hedge against that, dude, I'm doing that. And I think in 26 or 25, the Roosters play the Tigers. So I'd be stashing and trying to get a piece of that. This one might not be the one for him and Wong, a bit low, but I think the work rate for Wong and just Foketi's nose for stuff, they're playable, but I'm not rushing to do it. On the flip side, yeah, you can play these guys. I don't know how Preston has that matchup. Ever since the swap with Thingo, I'm not sure what DeGalvin's doing, but yeah, you guys who own those guys would know more than me. I've definitely not been clued into what the Bulldogs are doing, apart from Jethro, because I've kept my eye on him for you guys, basically. So yeah, we mentioned Foketi. I wanted to get that one away. Satili in this year, I think you can stash Satili luxury, because if he gets back to that 55-minute roll in the middle, dude, PPM, he's a 2RF with upside. I just don't know if that'll happen, and I don't know how soon that will happen. We touched on Jethro. There might be better options. Tungo touched on last game, and I touched on Cogger last game. Metcalf. Sorry, I'm just cleaning up so I can kind of be more efficient. Leka we touched on. Liam Martin we touched on. Okay, we'll keep going. Mofo we touched on. So yeah, I just want to mention, like, I know Satili's back, but there's just a lot of congestion there. But he kind of broke through last time and carved out a role. The Jamayne Salmon thing, I don't know. He's hit upside. Dude, in deep leagues, go for it for a stash if you think that's the case. I'm not going to sit here and say 100% do it. That's just, I just don't know enough about the minutes there. And now Satili's back and try scoring could dry up, and he's quickly irrelevant again. And it's a tougher matchup. Melbourne Manly, not a lot in this. Right centre, dude, who's at the right? Yeah, Garrick's back, I think. I don't know why my machine didn't pick that up. And now we've got Blake Wilson on the left. I don't mind Blake Wilson as a start here. With Lehigh at fullback, less so than when it's Tommy, but I don't mind Blake Wilson if you're looking for some try upside, because I don't know. I mean, I guess it's away. Again, Munster's back. That's a bit better. Bode's a bit better for what they're doing. Hooker is Tyron Wishart. I don't know why it's missing these people. God, it's annoying. I don't love starting Tyron Wishart when he's at hooker. He saved his score with that line break. Was it line break, try assist, or whatever? But yeah, don't love him at hooker, especially with Tolutau on the bench to probably spell him. That's a bit earlier than Munster back a bit earlier. I pinged the NRL physio on Twitter, and I said, dude, he's mentioned something about Munster like 4 to 5 weeks away or 4 weeks away. I said, please tell me, is that 4 weeks from when he was first ruled out or 4 weeks from the podcast episode? And NRL physio didn't reply. So NRL physio, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, please, help us with that sort of stuff, because we could have had different advice around Wishart and stuff. I know he loves draft. He should probably be watching this, because there's none better, but that's all right. Not everyone watches this. Who else have we got in this one? Oh, Howarth. Yeah, this isn't the matchup for it, but I mean, he'd had his moments. Definitely not the matchup for it, and just the in-game injury risk. I can't really confidently recommend him, dude. Yeah, I can't get there. Oren Keeley, him and Cooper Clark, I've been banging the drum about. Just Clark from that FRF spot hasn't been, the minutes are there and hasn't been amazing. People are talking about Lasardi coming back. He's not back yet, so until he is, we don't need to do anything about it. Trent Liero did a job from a minutes and PPM perspective. I expect that'll probably carry on if you're relying on him. Oren Keeley's probably still available in some leagues, and that's fine. Like, what's his name's not far away. Jerome Hughes. Watson got the gig again, the young halfback. I just think the runway's too small to bother with him, and they've got to buy in 25, so I think they'll hold if he's not playing this round. Oh, maybe they do play him next week just to get a win, but God, maybe they don't, which is still fine for Keeley, but just with Watson, I'm not bothered. Hamole's back off the bye. He'll be fresh. I think Paseka off the bye. If he's been dropped, one to watch, just maybe the bye hopefully ramps him back up and he gets back doing a bit more. I was looking at him today and he's just been super stable, but we've just only just need more offloads and stuff from him to kind of break through. But just if you're really needy and he's been dropped, who knows, off the bye, yeah, I think maybe worth a speculator if you're really looking at that FRF plug. Because potentially, as I said, the buy's just kind of freshen him up and he might be able to kind of get back to kind of breaking some tackles. But I'm surprised he hasn't gone down this year injured after kind of what we'd seen from him, but he's sort of carried on. I don't think there's any names in this one particularly jumping out to me. No. Dolphins, Brisbane. Yeah, no one. I'm just checking waivers at first actually on this. No one for me, but you see the matchups. It's the same old story with the Dolphins. Like, they got that back line. It's just firing. Kennelly and Finifuyaki, they're nice options. Broncos, it's just depression, man. It just sucks. Just what their season's been, and just watching Hunt and Reynolds just absolutely grim. I saw did Billy Walters finally get the start? I could be wrong. My machine's saying it's Corey Pakes. I thought I saw Billy Walters finally got the start. I could be wrong, but if he is, I like it a lot. Just a bit more front foot orientated, a bit more talent, whereas Pakes is a bit more robotic. Get off that one. Keep moving. Duncan's back. Yeah, just the matchup. You've got to play him. Graham has another favourable matchup. If you've got him, just run him back out there. Penasini scored. Has a matchup, man. I don't mind Penasini. I don't know if anything will happen here. Ronald Volkman's matchup's off the charts. So if you're really desperate, you hope that he can have a line break or something, but when Moses is there, he just plays second fiddle. Iongi, love the matchup, favourable. Really nice kind of spots here for some of these Eels. I don't know if it's legit, but Talon De Silva, I noticed the bench, there's not Harrison Edwards, and I don't think he plays 80, but dude, he finds the try line. Talon De Silva, he's like their highest try scorer this year. That could do a random job for someone this week. Whether it materializes, I'm not sure. Over on the Bunnies, I don't know whether Fafita is playing left or right. I've gone the assumption right. Aitken nowhere to be seen off illness. Super weird, dude. The Bunnies suck, dude, with their like health and just transparency and just everything, just so aids. So I'm just assuming Elliott's left and Fafita's right. If he is right, that's good for him apparently, but I think if he's left, it's also good for him. I think Fafita is definitely a go this week. I think Cam Murray's back too, which is good for people. And an elite matchup for Cody Walker, which is great for people. I think you can start him obviously against Parry. You're going for a Dufty and all that as well. The name on a lot of people's tongues is Francis Manuleleua. He's still a waiver, dude. Yeah, has the matchup, has the team, has the energy, has the play style. Like it a lot. Not going to go on too much about that. Paddy had great minutes. So the Paddy stashes and holders, we were rewarded. And hopefully it maintains because he's brilliant for scoring in this game. Sasagi, the gun matchup is based more on him rather than the conceding, but it's not bad. I think I would play him in this just because it's Sasagi. But he kind of has two injury components now. He's got his shoulder, which has been going okay because it hasn't gone, so that's good. Could go at any time. And then he's got now the soft tissue kind of stuff again, which I think is the second time. So, but what he offers is too worth it, because even if he goes down 60, 70 minutes, he's probably going to get you 40 plus. So I think the risk is worth it with the matchup and how good he is. I would go for it. I would even play a Timoko in this one. As good as the Knights are, they're not infallible. I like Timoko's sort of weird style. I wish he was on the right for that. That seems like his preferred edge, but he seems to be doing enough on the left. So yeah, don't mind him. I don't know the minutes with Mariota and stuff. There's a lot up in the air there. Trey Mooney, revenge game. I think if you've got him on the bench and you've got a crappy other FRF, you could maybe try Trey Mooney just to be fired up. But if there's a pack that can bully, it can be the Raiders. So I don't say that with a heap of confidence. One thing in this game as well, I think the Lashton Ward is playable after a floor game. I think back against Para and stuff, I think he's okay, and probably goal kicks. So that's nice for the Lashton. This one, just quickly on this one, we got Calhoun. nice minutes and a decent score in a high-scoring game. That's good for Colquhoun. He may have scored, I can't quite remember, but he's okay in deep leagues, as well as Pasifiki Tonga. With the injury to Toby, there's some minutes there. Pasifiki could see 60 and he'll get you a 55 plus. If he sees 50, he'll get you 50. So don't mind Pasifiki Tonga. Ignore the matchup for him. That's totally fine. Gun again for Nico. So the big C will be on Nico on a Sunday arvo, playing away. I've done that many posts and stats on Nico. If they win, he generally goes 100 plus. And then if he has one of those games, because he really only needs, what he's doing with his running, tackling, goal kicking, is he only needs a try assist, a line break try assist. And he gets 80 plus. If he gets like a line break himself, now it's 100 plus. If he scores a try, it's 130 plus, Nico, just based on what he's sort of doing. Like, so if you just ask yourself, can Nico get a try assist in this? Yeah. Can they win? Yeah. Will they probably score 3 to 4 tries? Yep. We're looking at 100, and because he will, if he just keeps up what he's doing, running and tackling for his, that gets him 45 points. Goal kicking, he can get anywhere between 12 and 30 points in that. As I said, one of those other things, we're talking 100 plus. So to me, it's just the C on Nico for here. I love a bit of Ronnie in here. Yeah, you know what you're doing here. Just sitting most of your Dragons guys. Just with Gutho though, like I kind of like Gutho's been playing okay. There's a bit of I don't know, like I think for people who are really desperate at fullback, this isn't the best matchup for it, but they're not infallible at against fullback. Gutho's just been pretty poo, but if he was better, this opportunity's better, and he's been a bit better. I don't want to, but like if you're choosing between all of the crap, like you might play Gutho over Jackson Edgar. It's still at home on a Sunday arvo. Gutho just needs a try assist and a bit more to go 50 plus. That can conceivably happen. Whereas Edgar over against New Zealand, that's pretty tough for the young fella. Avoid v tough, like that's a good little coin flip. So just have a think about that. If you're owning one of those guys, Lycan King Tongia is into the halves as a 5/8 option in a shallow position that there's not a lot much on waivers for that sort of area. I'd probably play Tonga over LKT, but LKT, yeah, I think like as long as he's got I need to watch him more closely to strongly recommend it, but just need to be mentioned that he's starting and he's in there. But I mentioned Pasifiki Tonga and Colquhoun. As for Matty Nicholson for the Canberra Raiders, he's just purely a stash. I don't think it will come to fruition. Guys in the Discord who are listening, boys, you got to chill out on these guys season. We just need to not everyone's super viable just because they have like one good score or some guy gets injured. We just don't know what this coach is going to do. It's all a bit hard to predict sometimes. So yeah, Matty Nicholson, is more just a luxury stash monitor here. I think he played through the middle at the weekend. I didn't watch closely, so I'm not exactly sure, but that could be a game day swap. Keep your eye on it because there is some upside in Matty Nicholson. Eels, I didn't mention, it's not the week for it, but Sam Rani just kind of does things every now and again that are interesting. Yeah, that's it, guys, I think, for this one. I've mentioned a bunch of names. I showed you the accountability report. Dude, I've been doing that many stats and deep dives and stuff on Instagram. You've got to get in there. If you're in finals, find a way to comment, ask your questions, your priorities, pick this guy, that guy, sit starts. It all comes down to this in Supercoach. Got a couple of videos coming this week, so I've got Griff jumping on a bit later. Griff and I are going to talk about a bit of a draft review thing about hits and misses and other learnings and whatnot. So we'll record that, and then we'll do a bit of a team analysis. We'll look at my team, we'll look at his team coming to finals and talk about that. Just kind of like talk strategy and just talk players and thoughts. Just really a bit waffly, but a bit of fun. So hopefully those two videos go all well and come out this week for you. So check back in on the channel, set the bell notification. Please subscribe too. It lets me know that I'm doing the good things by you. So all new subscribers, I really appreciate and welcome you. We've got heaps of things coming to finish the year, and then we're ramping up for next year pretty much in January. So set the bell just so that you're like fully locked in, because I think prep for next season will be pretty exciting and pretty fun the way we'll do it. We'll do lots of different stuff, have a few guests and whatnot, hopefully. So should be exciting. So yeah, please sub, give the video a like if you appreciated it, and what I do, because yeah, this does take time. So yeah, your likes, they make me feel good and they make me feel motivated. When I see the video get a couple 100 views and a few likes, I'm like, yep, happy days. That's awesome. I know my hard work has paid off, so thanks again. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled for those videos with Griff that'll come out this week, and prep yourself for finals. Good luck with your waivers. Get them in. Think about the value of your priority. Climbing the waivers is valuable. It's got its own value. If the player's crap, it's better to climb so that if someone gets dropped or whatever. And then, you know, if you're on the bye, message people in your league who are playing this weekend, and if you know they've got guys on the bench that they're not starting that are good players, you've got to get in their ear going, dude, you should AE this week, win your matchup by doing that. And then they drop whoever's on bye, they drop a good player, and you go, thank you very much, and you swoop in. Who is on bye this week? Tigers, so they all suck. But like, say like, I mean, they don't need to drop guys on bye, so I'm an idiot, I shouldn't have said that, but you know what I'm saying, like, if you're on bye and they're playing finals and you know they've got a guy on their bench they're not starting, like their 5th CTW that's going to play, but like it's like a Jethro Rinakama or something, and you've got to go up against like Matt Burton in the coming weeks or whatever, you go, mate, make sure you're AEing, like don't play your crappy hooker, drop him, get the bench score, and if the first guy of the round plays and he goes well, drop your bench away, and then that you kind of like manipulating them into dropping some stuff, and you can leverage your high ticket. If you don't have a high ticket, don't do that then, obviously. So yeah, just be thoughtful about your ticket and its value going to finals. Trading wise, there's not a lot out there. I didn't do any like buy low posts, anything like that. I haven't done much on the finals targets because we're here now. Now we just play week to week kind of thing. You can look a little bit ahead. What else is there? Like, yeah, I guess you could trade for Tigers guys. Like if the Terrell May owner like needs to win and you don't see him as a threat, like, dude, give him Stefano Utuamaka and say, dude, win this week. Have a front rower. You'll then miss Stefano in the round 24 or 25. Like they'll miss him then, but if they win, they've got to just survive. Dude, so go and buy Dewey, go and buy Terrell with lower priced players, because if you're not playing, that you can go and get him. But you need to be clear, you need to be careful, because in some leagues, mid like finals trading is frowned upon. So just know your league, do that accordingly. But anyway, finals review coming. Good luck, guys. Comment, DM me, whatever you need to kind of get through the week to prep for your first round. If you're there, if you're in the bye round like me, pay attention, eyes peeled. Let's get it. Good luck. See ya.